Marketing cycles are a hell of a thing, and the Sonic Frontiers one has been interesting to say the least, but I honestly find myself in a position now where I don't want to know anything else about the content of this game. I don't want any more trailers, screenshots, info dumps, interviews, anything like that. I don't want to know anything more about this game. Now obviously this is a personal opinion and I don't expect many of you to share it, but I think it opens up a bit of a wider conversation about how much information you need about a game before it releases. So that's really the main reason for this video. I mentioned the marketing cycle right at the start. A good marketing cycle can create intrigue into the game, create a bunch of hype and excitement that makes you want to get your hands on the game as soon as possible. But underneath it all, the only true intention of marketing in games is to sell you on the idea of buying that game. If the marketing cycle is done correctly, you may have already pre-ordered it through a retailer and will be playing it in the first few days from release, and you'll be excited to do this because you are getting a product that you genuinely want. And whilst I feel this comes down to personal preference, I want to know enough about the core gameplay loop, maybe a little bit about the story, a couple of extra little tidbits about the characters, and honestly that's it. That does it for me. If it's impressed me enough and I feel like I'm going to get value out of my time playing that game, then I'm sold on it. Do you know what I mean? For me, I'm in that position with Sonic Frontiers. Now frankly, it did take me a little bit of convincing considering how bad they did the marketing at the start of June, but with the Q&As and with the hands-on impressions, I can tell you that I'm going to get enough value out of my time with the game and that it's going to be enjoyable for me. So to me, I have enough information about the gameplay loop and the content to make an informed decision as to whether it's going to be worth my time. And I wonder if you feel the same about Frontiers. I guess really it comes down to the amount of information that you need to sell you on something. And I say this because I believe that too much information in marketing can dampen the experience of a first time play. This very much sidetracks from Frontiers here because I want to talk about Pokemon. Pokemon games are about exploring and discovering new things, leveling up your team, fighting battles and progressing through the story, and for me part of that charm is discovering new Pokemon. I still have really fond memories of Pokemon Silver and Pokemon Sapphire because I didn't know the full rosters, I didn't know what I was doing in the game, and I was just discovering these awesome new things and these new characters and finding out how to evolve these new Pokemon. And I still remember fighting Metagross for the first time, like fighting Steven. It just was so cool. It was such a nice experience for me that I really treasure. And so that discovery and that wonder is part of the core experience I enjoy about playing video games. Pokemon Sun and Moon for the 3DS came around 2016 and had 81 brand new Pokemon along with 18 variants of older Pokemon. The trailers in the run-up to this game though revealed 63 out of 81 of those Pokemon along with 15 out of 18 of the Alolan variants. That's the very vast majority of the new Pokemon already out there. So it's not a new discovery, you already know what they are, do you know what I mean? Now because it's in official marketing, it's very difficult to avoid that sort of thing unless you go on a complete social media blackout, which just wasn't really viable. That combined with heaps of information about new characters, the story and the post-game meant that there was very little for me to discover for myself in this game. Compare that to Pokemon Sword and Shield's marketing, which was much more restrained to the point of us not even knowing the initial Route 1 Pokemon beforehand, as well as not much in the way of the story, and it made for a much more enjoyable playthrough. Discovering the new Pokemon and new forms and new mechanics firsthand made the game a lot more exciting for me. Despite the game not being as good as Sun and Moon, I still had a better time playing it. The point I'm trying to make is that I had a much more enjoyable time because I knew less about that game, but I knew enough to know that I was going to have fun with it. It was a concise yet informative marketing campaign that really got me excited and sold me pretty well on it. In comparison, my playthrough of Moon, well, I don't really have that many fond memories of it or anything like that because I knew most of what to expect and there wasn't really much I discovered on my own in that game, which really dampened it for me. Relating this back to Sonic Frontiers now, I know the core gameplay loop. Explore, beat enemies, get keys, go to cyberspace, and the game will progress from there. I know there is a wide open area to explore, I know at least some of the cyberspace levels use older levels as a basis, I know Amy and Tails are involved, and that there is a skill tree. And frankly, I'm now sold on this game being a good time for me because there's plenty for me to discover. I don't need to know every single option on the skill tree already, I don't need to know how other characters will weave their way into the game. I don't need to know the mini games that are going to be available or anything like that. I am excited to discover the mysteries of this game for myself because that's part of what drives me to play video games, is that discovery and that enjoyment about finding new things. To me, that creates a good memory and I want Frontiers to be the best memory possible. I still remember discovering how to get past the Barrel of Doom in Sonic 3 or how crazy happy the Control Core Angel section of Borderlands 2 was, the excitement of discovering Hyrule in Wind Waker, and of course, I hope that Frontiers can deliver something memorable and exciting too. Now, as I said, it's pretty personal to me. I enjoy having that restrained amount of knowledge about a game. Now, as I said earlier, that's personal to me. That's how I enjoy that type of media, is discovering things for myself. It's kind of the reason why I don't watch Marvel trailers anymore. I know that I'm going to have a good time when I go watch it. And there are plenty of people watching this who are not going to feel the same, and that's totally okay. Some of you will want more information on Sonic Frontiers, or you're not sold on it at all. Some people want to know everything about the game going in so that they can make informed decisions during gameplay and get the results that they want, and that's totally cool. Like, that is definitely an awesome way to play things. It's just it's not the way that I like to, and that's cool. It's no wrong way, no right way, do you know what I mean? But for me, I am honestly happy with the amount I know about Sonic Frontiers, and if I don't find out a single other thing about this game before it releases, well, that is going to be more than okay for me. Naturally, in this line of work, it's pretty impossible to avoid everything, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully I won't find out too much more before the game releases. So yeah, I'm just really excited for Frontiers. I think it's going to be a really fresh take on Sonic, and I'm interested to see what they do with it. So the question that I wanted to pose to you, taking all of this into consideration, do you feel you prefer knowing more about a game going in, or do you want to have as little information as possible so you can discover more for yourself? What works for you, and do you think there are merits to each one? It's an interesting personal question that I've been pondering for a little while, so you know, it's just one of those things I wanted to make a video about. So yeah, let's have a little chat in the comments, and thank you so much for your time today. I hope that I've made you think about it. Now, if you want more from me, make sure you hit subscribe and then check this video out. Mosey on over, it'll enrich your life. I'm pretty sure.